Welcome everyone, Christine here with a discussion about starting positions in the Omens of Destruction DLC for the new Legendary Lords, and also about Warzag. So over here we have Arbol the Undefeated. He starts with the mountain over here. He starts with a tier 1 Mortal Barracks, so that means he can get Marauders of Khorne, and Marauders of Khorne with dual weapons, and also cast Warriors of Khorne, and in just one turn he can get the Armory, so he can get access to Halberds and Occultist. Also, he can get the Skull Harvester, also in a turn, to get access to the Exalted Hero of Khorne, cast Chariots of Khorne, all within one turn. Now the reason he's able to do all of this in one turn is because he gets minus 50% construction time for mortal, military, and defense buildings. I'll talk about the Arbol in more detail in a separate video, but he starts in the Skull Road, makes perfect sense for Khorne, I feel, at war with the Ogres right here. These Ogres, whose name I'm not even going to try and pronounce, the Lazargs, they used to be over here in Shambleton, or Shambletown. Now this is just occupied by the Skaven that Gorst starts at war with. So that is his starting position. He has an entire province to make it work. And one of the nice things about Khorne, starting with mortal units, is mortal units, at least early on in a campaign, are really what you want to go for. That is certainly an issue for Scarbrand, for Skulltaker. Now, for Golfag Maneater, he has a camp over here, the northern camp, that he starts with. I can't talk about his campaign mechanics, but he does start with Butcher, Heavens, and he's either gonna be Norland or Osland. He's gonna deal with one of those two. I'm not sure exactly what his AI is scripted to do, by the way, with regards to his unique mechanics. Beyond that, we get Gorbad Ironclaw that starts right here in the Iron Rock region. So he starts with Black Crag, he starts with Carrick Drone, he starts with a barracks and a gold mine, and the thing about him is that he's close enough to Backstabber in Carrick Peaks. I believe they've nerfed Backstabber's starting army by quite a bit. So you can actually just fight this army and then force march over here if you take enough casualties so that Backstabber will come in. Or he'll move to the Valley of Sorrow and you can fight him there and win over there. So you get Gorbag, he starts with a Shaman, and he also starts with some Goblin Bolt Throwers. Beyond that, we get Warzag over here with a settlement in the central jungles, and he starts a war with the Leafcutters tribe, which Tic-Tac-Toe also starts a war with. Now, if you're playing Warzag, Tic-Tac-Toe will have control over the entirety of the western jungles, and the faction leader that Warzag has to kill to confederate these guys is right next to him, pretty much. Or he can do it turn 1. So he can get the entirety of the central jungles under his control. Then we have, last but not least, we have Skulltaker. He starts with a Blood Reaper. He starts with a tier 2 Demon Settlement over here in the Guanji Valley, at war with the minor faction of Tzeentch. The minor faction of Khorne that used to be here has been removed, replaced by Skulltaker, and so you have him in this situation, close enough to Alberic or Rock, so on. In Lustra, for all the good and bad that comes from Lustra. So those are the new starting positions. Now I can't talk about the new campaigns, really. I was skeptical about starting in jungle, but it's not really much of a jungle that Warzag has to deal with. And relations between Lizardmen and Greenskins aren't so horrible that you can't make diplomacy work. You do start a war with Tic-Tac-Toe, however. Skulltaker with those Tzeentch, Golfag with whoever he decides to, basically because of his faction mechanics that CA themselves have revealed in their gameplay footage. So those are starting positions. Let's go over defeat rates. Now, in terms of defeat traits, first off, Arbel's defeat trait, Vigor Reduction, minus 15%, and 4 leadership for your entire army. Arbel, the defeated. I'm surprised his faction doesn't get removed from the campaign map when you do beat the crap out of him, but I suppose such is the way of things. I'm kind of curious, does he gain the negative trait that he gets if you play him, if you win against him? He should, to be certain. But that's Arbel. Golfag. For the next one, let's see what Golfag Maneater has on offer. Yeah, I will be able to defeat him. Bit of a resolve mod magic anyway. But let's see what we get. We get easy come, easy gone. Post battle chance of stealing a magic item plus 5%, and magic item drop chance from battle 10%. Kind of. Yeah, kind of whatever, honestly. So, I mean, Arbel, I guess, might be worth doing. Golfag certainly not, especially, like, you know, keeping him around might be useful to, you know, get those kind of mercenaries from him, especially if you're playing Sultan or Katrin. Having Ogre mercenaries at your doorstep is useful. Don't know if you can hire him.
Think I'll use you as
Nope, doesn't seem like there's a way to engage with him. Can we ally him if we are not... Nope, you can't ally him. Alright. I guess he's just going to be a nuisance we're going to have to deal with in the campaign. But that's his defeat trait. Now let's see Gorbad Ironclaw and what he's going to offer in terms of a defeat trait right there.
The High King acts.
+1 recruit rank and leadership RSIs. You know, I hope that they didn't overreact because of what happened with Tamerkhan, but yeah, these defeat traits kind of not really sold on them so far. Though if you're playing Fulgrim, you probably would want to do something similar to this. Used to want to rush Skarsnik, but now it's kind of, I guess it's kind of going to be like rush Gorbad. But yeah, that's his defeat trait. Gorbad's gone, but not forgotten. He earned a place besides the mighty Gork and Mork in the shaman's tales around the campfire. And finally, there is Skulltaker, Ulbricht's revenge. Obviously, you would not win this battle. But let's see that defeat trait.
Lord.
We get Skulltaker, 2 melee attack for the Lord's army, and 10 physical resistance. Well, it's not the worst in the world. 10% physical resistance for a Lord. Actually, that's pretty nice from a survival perspective. But yeah, these defeat traits, not gonna lie, they feel pretty damn lame. But that's where I stand. Let me know what you guys think. Not really impressed, suffice to say. Ghosteen signing out.